Hey, I really want to talk to you about Star Trek. I saw your amazing recent appearance on Joe Rogan. You brought up Starfleet Academy. In fact, I have like a video of their latest episode. It's like a little teaser trailer.
So this is the episode we haven't seen yet.
It's the episode we haven't seen.
I did try to give them a little credit and saying, hey, maybe it'll write itself, because you never know. You never know.
We're going to talk about AI later. I really want to get into AI with you. I have nuanced opinions about it, but it's almost like it's a human form of AI. And by that, I mean, parts of AI are like a randomizer, right? Like taking all this data, randomize it, making something new from that library source.
You don't need AI to make slop. So.
Right, exactly. But that's what modern IP has become. Star Wars, Star Trek, a lot of these things, like we're just going to randomize and use things. The recent Alien movie that was in theaters, which I think is very well directed. It's a greatest hits of Alien is what it is.
Yeah.
So want to get your thoughts. Here is the teaser. It's very short, like 30 seconds. Let's watch it here together, and we'll get a taste of what the new episode is all about.
We're all just trying to get back to feeling normal.
Academy facilities are now closed for the All Worlds break.
Have a good All Worlds.
I'm staying here.
You can't stay. The Academy is going to be locked down.
Perfect.
Fine. Don't break anything.
What are you doing here?
Let's have some fun.
Stop. This is all as much a surprise to me as it is to you.
You did not know you have a pending spouse?
I knew I was promised to her when we were children. I really need you there tonight. For me.
I remember when Star Trek was smart and was about ideas and philosophical discussions. I mean, you mentioned it on the show, corporate philosophy and personal philosophy.
Yeah, more than philosophy, propaganda. I mean, basically in any media, you bring your message that you're trying to get on screen. And generally there used to be kind of a balance. And I mean, listen, I have to preface this by saying, and I think I said this on Joe Rogan, that Star Trek frequently explored gender concepts and identities and sexuality. And, there's an episode with Riker where he goes to this planet of neuters and where they have a single gender and one of them falls in love with him. And they kind of explore that. And so it's not like science fiction and Star Trek, science fiction explored these ideas before. It's just that the quality of the writing and the thoughts behind what they were doing in those episodes were just so much better than what they're making now. And it almost just feels now like they're, just kludging in ideas as the original intent. Like they're not even thinking about like social conversations. They're just saying, hey, let's put, a confused Klingon on the, on the show.
The theory I had,
which is weird.
The theory I had was like everything that Gen X loved. It feels like this generation needs to correct it. That somehow that Star Wars, even Walt Disney, Star Trek, that it was just those were old morals. Those were old ways of thinking. So we need to take all that stuff that Gen X loved and modernize it and correct it for a more proper world.
I think a lot of it has to do with the preponderance of female executives that are working at the broadcasters and at the studios. And listen, I've worked with a ton of amazing development executives, but guys, when they think about something like Star Wars, they think about it in the most basic terms, which is kind of, what guys want. Like, this sort of Joseph Campbell-esque adventure with heroes and villains and the guy gets the girl, like all the simple stuff. And a woman will generally say, I'm going to fix this guy. I'm going to change him. And so they're taking this IP and they're completely rejiggering it in a way that they think works. And honestly, it feels to me like they're getting messaging from above, mandates from above. Like, hey, you make sure to do this, you make sure to do this, you make sure to tick this box and this box and this box. And I think we know where those mandates are likely coming from. And those are the notes at the top. Like they're going in and saying, this is what it's about, ahead of, ahead of just writing good science fiction and exploring social concepts, in doing so.
But why not create something new? Why commandeer something that already worked and that was already beloved?
Yeah.
I mean, it does feel strange. And also, why disenfranchise your entire base audience when you could have everyone? Like, you could have everyone by, like simple canon, in Star Trek is not being respected. And things like, I saw Vulcans in one episode, like taking shots. And like, everybody knows Vulcans are allergic to alcohol. Like, they just don't take it. It's like a non-logical thing for a Vulcan. And maybe this is just Vulcans in the far future have transgressed the way humanity has transgressed, in our current timeline. But, just little things like that just a general understanding of the tenets of Star Trek, which are kind of beloved by people. And
I think about
a technical manual, just respecting a technical manual that I mean, I have one, you probably have one. It's the technical manual will tell you certain things about the technologies involved, and they would hire physicists and scientists on Star Trek and technologists to make sure that everything kind of was correct according to the sciences behind Star Trek, warp field technology and things like that. All that stuff is just kind of thrown out the door, and everybody's just kind of winging it. It feels like, and it feels like they've brought in a lot of writers who either don't care or just don't know, and the result is apparent.
Well, I think about the Force in Star Wars and how that has become basically psychic powers instead of an underlying philosophy. And then I also think about in Star Trek the Prime Directive, and how you interact with new cultures and new societies, and that seems to be gone or reinterpreted.
I got into a little bit of an argument with one of the Palantir guys because they were like Star Wars, and I was like Star Trek, and well, we can still be friends. But we started talking about it, and my biggest issue with the developments in the Force was the whole, what is it, mitochondrial?
Mitochondria.
Yeah.
Midichlorians.
Midichlorians, yeah.
Thank you, midichlorians, which essentially, growing up, I had thought, oh, the Force, that's something available to all of us. Mm-hmm. If you practice, you can harness the Force and use it within your life. But when they introduced that, I mean, and let's be honest, that was Lucas who did that. Mm-hmm. Suddenly, like, the Force belonged to kind of a Swiss guard, for the princess. And it kind of, that I was already a little spoiled on Star Wars, but when I go back now and watch, Return of the Jedi, for example, I mean, I think Return of the Jedi is pretty good, actually. Like, despite that complaint, it's anyhow, throwing away these kind of these canon elements of it's haphazard. So.
It almost seems on purpose to destroy these beloved franchises. It almost seems it's intentional.
It does feel like it's on purpose. You mentioned also, I don't know if it was Rogan or somewhere else, that you were part of a think tank of creatives from Hollywood. I believe Bryan Singer, I heard him tell a story about this, where they asked how people who do bad things might do those bad things. Yeah. And they were looking to creatives from Hollywood who write movies to, like, well, how would you say do some horrible act in the city of LA and How would you attack Los Angeles? Yeah. Mine involved shipping containers at the Port of LA in Long Beach, which is overloaded. They can only do spot checks of shipping containers. And it involved dirty bomb in one of these shipping containers because the prevailing winds go straight down the LA River to downtown. And it would be a very easy act to do. Some people did swift boat attacks you can create terror in Los Angeles very simply. And we see the Los Angeles mayor doing it. And so it's like, it's a very simple thing to do. But basically what we were doing is we were writing scenarios by which they could then come up with preemptive defenses for. At least that was the prompt.
Wow.
And they do this a lot. This is something that, I was part of just this one group that did it, and I can't really I can't confirm, who else was there. Mm-hmm. But it's who you would imagine. It's like the people, and this was, this is in the late 90s. And so this is a long time ago now. And it was, it was like a little gig, and, we didn't do it for any money, but it was something that we all just did for, it was like we were called upon to do it.